All right. Hi, everyone. How are you doing today? Or this evening, night, whatever time it happens to be for you. I, again, wasn't planning to do a live stream. It seems like these are never planned anymore. I thought I would first of all, it's Christmas week, and I wasn't sure if I was going to do any videos this week. I've just been really busy, obviously, getting ready for Christmas and winding down the work week and looking forward to a little bit of a break here. All that said, I did think that maybe it would be nice to have sort of a housekeeping / chit-chat video. Again, I don't know that anyone's even going to be watching this, but that's okay. I'm thinking that by doing this video as a live stream, I'll just be able to put it out there without a lot of editing or anything and give you all an update. So as I am talking, I'm just going to be decorating my tree. Again, I wasn't planning on decorating my tree this year just because I have been really busy, but I thought, why not? Yes, this is what we're working with here. A very small tree from Target, I think. It's been several years. That's about all the tree that I do for myself at home. So anyway, but that's really as big of a tree as you need, right? And I've got some ornaments. I'm not sure exactly what I'm doing here, so we'll see. But yeah, it's Christmas. How have you all been? Oh dear. Make sure this is all cleaned off and presentable. So I had a few things I wanted to talk about, just sort of as, like I said, housekeeping, announcements, that sort of thing. First of all, I have been, for the last year I've been trying to get back into writing. I think everybody who enjoys reading tries their hand at writing sometimes, right? And for me, it's been really an on and off thing since I was really little. But anyway, I really want to get seriously into writing about 10 years ago. I didn't get very far, honestly. Had to take a break due to just life busyness and just feeling discouraged about my writing and, this and that. But in the last year or two, I have really tried to get back into writing a little more seriously. And last year I published a retelling of the Nutcracker story. So very Christmassy, right? And then this year I just published a poetry collection called Third Life. And if you're interested in following any of that, I have a second channel now. It's just called Marion H. Rowe, which is my pen name, and you can find it if you go to the related channels section of my YouTube channel. You'll see a link to this other channel. There's only one video on there so far. I've just haven't got around to adding more yet, but I'm hoping to do some readings in the future, maybe talking about my writing a little bit, my writing process, all that good stuff. I wanted to keep it separate from this channel because on this channel I want to focus on other people's books, especially classic literature and, writing that's been tried and true over the years. And I really wanted to keep that separate from my writing for obvious reasons. That's the second channel. Not a lot going on there yet, but just wanted to let you know. And then if you're interested in reading any of my writings, I have a few things posted on my writing website, and also a couple of books that you can check out on Amazon if you're interested. So again, all that information's on the other channel, or you can check it out at marionhrow.com. That's row with an E. And I'm not really going to be talking a lot about it in the future on this channel due to the fact that it just doesn't seem to be that relevant to this channel. Let's see here. So, let's see, what do I want to do this year? I have different colors of ornaments. Usually I would use these small ones. Now these are glass. And as you can see, I broke one a few years ago. Really cute, but I'm not really fond of glass ornaments, being as clumsy as I am. But I do like the look of glass ornaments. So I don't know if I want to do that this year or not. So that's one option. These are some hooks in there. I've got these, which are a little bit bigger. And these are plastic, so they're not gonna break on me or anything. Got these white ones. I think these are also glass, but these are more a little more hardy, I guess. I mean, I've never broken them, and I've had these for a long time. These are tear shaped, I guess. And then I've got these from Target a while back. And these ones are, I think these are also glass, but yeah, so reds and greens and silver. I'm really kind of drawn this year towards the copper colored ones because I don't think I've ever used those before. Now there's not a lot of them, so I'm gonna have to think about what goes with copper. Maybe copper and green, that would be pretty. So I think that's what we're gonna do. Let me see if there's enough hooks here. There's a few. Let's give this a shot and see what happens. So it looks like a few people joined. Yeah, this is just a random live stream this evening, talking about, well, decorating Christmas tree, obviously of first importance, but also talking about some housekeeping items for the channel. And a big announcement, which is my second channel. Some of you may have seen it. It's my writing channel called Marion H. Rowe. That's my pen name. And if you're interested, you can check it out in the channels tab of this channel. I wanted to keep it separate so that I have a place to really experiment and just grow as a writer versus having it kind of intermingled with my book reviews, which I really want to keep focused on book reviews and other people's writing as opposed to my own. But so far, yes, I do have one poetry reading on that channel and hopefully more to come in the new year. So if that interests you, please feel free to check it out. And I have a website as well, which is marionhrow.com. And there you can find information about my books and a blog where I'll post some short stories from time to time. So yeah, let's go ahead and get out these copper colored ones. I'm gonna set these aside for a minute and hopefully not have any disasters. So that was the first big announcement. Second big announcement is I'm gonna be really busy this coming year with various life things. And I was thinking, I don't want to just quit the channel because I really have been appreciating the growth that I've seen this past year. Not to mention, I just really enjoy it. I love making videos. I love meeting you guys. Oh boy. And I just want to keep going, right? But chances are my reading won't be as much next year and I just won't have as much time. So I'm thinking what I'll do is I have a lot of book reviews from the past, which maybe some of you haven't read or are aware of. Okay, I'm just gonna dump these out carefully so I can get all of the copper ones. All right. And I thought, what if I were to just read some of those older reviews and even maybe give some comments on them, because, you know, I've been reviewing books for like over 10 years now. So there's quite a few books in the archives that I haven't talked about in forever. So maybe that would be fun to just make videos about those, and that would give me some content to share with you, some new insights, or rather old insights on books that have never appeared on the channel before, and still be something manageable that I can do. So that's sort of what I'm thinking for probably February through April, maybe beyond, so we'll see. But oops, and that's why I like the plastic ones. But yeah, okay, so that's kind of the plan for early next year. Hopefully that will be useful to people and keep the channel afloat as I just go through some new seasons of life. So what am I reading? Really, I am still reading the books that I talked about in my last video. I haven't really read a lot of Crime and Punishment over the last couple weeks for kind of obvious reasons. It's not the most Christmassy book, but since I do have some time off this weekend, I really want to at least get maybe 2/3 through Crime and Punishment. I'm about halfway right now. Still liking it. It's starting to pick up again, so that's cool. And then let's see. I'll be really honest, and I don't know if you're watching, Blaj, but I didn't finish the Clarice Lispector book. I really, and I was gonna tell you next time we spoke, but like I feel like I couldn't understand it. Like the beginning was hard to understand, but I sort of was able to get something from it. Like I was starting to formulate these theories about what she was trying to say and kind of connecting to that feeling of identity crisis that she was talking about. But as I kept going and got just past halfway, I realized I didn't understand anything, and it was also making me feel really depressed and uncomfortable. So that's kind of how I felt about it, and I'm like, I just can't finish it at this point. So I'm really looking forward to hearing if you finished it or if you plan to finish it, what your thoughts are, and hopefully, like, I feel like I'll get way more out of it from listening to you talk about it than if I were to continue reading it, honestly, which is too bad, because I think maybe it's just this book of hers. Maybe I should try another one of hers, but I felt like this is The Passion According to G.H. I thought it was just a bit too much out of reach for me. So there's that status, and then I'm still reading Look at Me by Anita Brookner. Did I mention that last time? I don't know, but Look at Me by Anita Brookner is one that I just sort of picked up on a whim. I had seen it on Goodreads, and okay, we're finally getting to hang some ornaments here. Sorry, I'm just taking forever. So Look at Me by Anita Brookner was written, I believe, or published in the 80s, and it's about this woman who lives a life of extreme isolation. Or rather, not isolation, like not literal isolation, like she's not under lockdown or anything, but she doesn't have any living family anymore. And she doesn't really have any friends. She's got a steady job working at a research library, but she just feels like her life died after she experienced grief at the loss of her mother, and just is feeling very, very sad and rejected, if you will, in a sense, like very, very isolated mentally, I guess is the word. So it's during this time that she meets this couple who are very charismatic and attractive people, Nick and Alex, and she really describes them as this couple that lives this charmed life. Like, they're always confident, they're always doing something fun and exciting, they are always liked wherever they go. No matter what they do, it seems like they can get away with it because they're so charismatic. So that's kind of the premise of the story. She meets this charismatic couple and wants to become friends with them, feeling like it will fill that gap in her life that she is experiencing. So kind of an interesting premise for a story. I'm definitely getting Charlotte Bronte vibes from it. I think that, well, I don't know if she was inspired by Bronte sisters or not, but that kind of voice is how she writes. Highly introspective, highly analytical of herself and her surroundings. And even though she's so analytical and just understands things so very well, she still falls for this couple, right? And I think that's what makes it so interesting. She kind of knows what she's getting herself into, in a sense. But it's like she has this hope that it'll... Well, maybe I'm projecting a little bit. I don't know if she's exactly writing in... I can't remember if she's writing in like past tense as in something that happened in the past, or if it's more of like a diary style, but I'm gonna have to check that. I'm only a few chapters in, but I'm really enjoying it, and we'll see where it lands. Okay, so it doesn't look like much from this angle, but anyway. So that's what I'm reading right now. Was there anything else I wanted to talk about? I think that was pretty much it. Just those two housekeeping items and then like a reading checkup. This tree is kind of looking sad though, so let's figure out what else to put on here. Oh yeah, I was gonna do gold and green, so let's get out the green ones here. Now these are glass, so we really have to be careful. Also, if you are newly subscribed, I just want to say thank you. I've noticed quite a few people subscribing recently, and really, really glad to have you. This year has been a bit hit and miss with the uploads, I'll have to admit, but I'm thinking that my plan for next year will at least get us off to a good start. So, let's talk about what those videos are going to be. I actually have a list here. Let me pull it up real quick. I keep a Trello board of ideas for videos. So let me see if I can pull it up here and see what's on the list. So we've got, first up is going to be The Divine Comedy. That's a book I read a year ago and wrote a pretty good review of, a 3-part review. So I'm going to do a video on that. Oh, there we go. Keep in mind, I've only read The Divine Comedy once, so I suspect that my opinion of it will change over time, but I'm just going to give you my first impressions of it. And what else do we have on the list? We've got, oh yeah, I was going to do a video on advice for YouTubers or podcasters, especially people who are not used to public speaking of any kind. I suppose that when you watch these videos, you think that, sorry for the background noise, people are starting to come home from wherever they were and kind of be noisy about it. I suppose when you watch videos like mine or other YouTubers, it might feel like it just sort of comes naturally, but honestly, nothing could be further from the truth. Or at least, it isn't how it started. Not so long ago. Well, yeah, not so long ago. It was very difficult for me to make videos, and by no means it didn't come naturally at all. So I wanted to make a video about how I got to the point of podcasting and eventually making videos, tips for overcoming your anxiety, and oops, that doesn't look good, and just that sort of thing. It's not magic, it's not a talent, it's practice. That's all I can say, because I used to be the most timid of people, and it took me a long time to get to this point where I can do a live stream, for example, and lots of practice and lots of situations where I was required to do some public speaking. So yeah, I'm going to talk about that in that video. Another video that I want to do, let's see here. So I found some manuscripts by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, who wrote the Sherlock Holmes series, and I thought that would be fun to go over, because the manuscripts show his writing process, and I don't know, I think it's kind of interesting. Okay, so here's where we're at with the Christmas tree. We've got some copper going on, we've got a little bit of green, more than you can actually see here. I wish there was more green, but that's all of the dark green that I have. But I could use some of the sparkly blue. Might do that. I'm not sure. That might be just a little too much. So let me put these away. Anyway, I found these manuscripts by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. I thought that would be kind of fun to go over a little bit. Maybe not the entire manuscript, but just see what kind of things he did in his writing, edits he made, so forth. Okay. Other video ideas. So according to my list, I wanted to do a live stream playing this Sherlock Holmes video game called Nemesis. In all honesty, I probably won't be able to do that due to the setup that it requires, but that's still an idea. It's a very old video game, so don't get too excited. I'd like to read more Seneca on the channel. So my last video was one of his letters. He wrote a lot of letters to this Lucilius, and I think it'd be neat to read some more of those. Somebody requested reading more stylists like Oscar Wilde and Fitzgerald, and just authors that are renowned for their style, their poetic writing style. So I've got that on my list as well. And I have some collectible magazines that I got from my grandpa. And I think those would be quite interesting to go over at some point. He's got a commemorative magazine about the Titanic, a commemorative magazine about the space race from like the 60s, a couple things like that. So I think that would be really fun to look at. And I think I still have a part of Common Sense to release. You know, I started a audiobook of Common Sense earlier in the year, and unfortunately I didn't actually continue that, so that's unfortunate. I have the third part, I just haven't edited it yet. It turned out to be a lot more difficult to edit than I anticipated, which is one of the reasons I kept procrastinating. But anyway, hopefully I can finish that. It looks like it'll be next year now. Alright, so I think that's enough of these kinds of ornaments. Alright, I have a few more here. I really like these. These are some paper doves that I made when I was a kid. Is that gonna show up? It's gonna focus. Maybe. They look better in person, okay? They really do. Anyway, basically you tie them to the tree, or to each branch. Here's another one, like origami, swans and doves. I think that'd be kind of cute. But honestly, I'm not sure they really go with this tree. I usually put them on a different tree. Got a garland. Yeah. I don't know about that. Oh, well, I guess, maybe what I'll do, this is what I'll do. I'll just use this garland here, so, got this white garland here. I'm just gonna fill in the gaps with this garland, and I think we're gonna call it good. I just like to keep things simple sometimes. Oh dear, is this 2 garlands or is it 1? Okay, it looks like it's 1 big garland. It might actually be too big. Well, let's see here. So yeah. Where was I going with that? So yeah, there's definitely ideas for videos. In all likelihood, I'm going to be focusing a lot on reading old book reviews that I've written and just sort of building up a collection of videos to release early in the year when I'm busy, and just trying to schedule them out in a good way. Okay, this doesn't look so good on camera, but let's see here. Now, in the past, I would also do lights, although I don't think I've ever put lights on this tree, just because it's more of a fancy Charlie Brown kind of tree than anything else. Yeah, so if you have any ideas for videos, I'm always interested. just let me know. Not making any promises, but I definitely take into consideration all the ideas I get. And you know what? This isn't looking so good. So I think I'm going to take that off, actually. I mean, maybe it would if I just... Okay, let's do this. See the... Okay, you can't see. Let me show you what we're working with here. So you can see that the middle of the tree is pretty sparse. So I'm wondering if wrapping this garland around it will fill it in a little better so it doesn't look so sparse. Maybe I should have done this part first. Might have been a little more logical. Well, I hope all of you are staying safe and well and enjoying your Christmas time. And New Year coming up too. I can't believe that this year just went by so quickly. Okay, so my book goal for this year was 50 books. I don't think I'll make it, even though I even padded it a bit with like oh dear, this isn't gonna work because this garland's way too long. So I'm gonna just undo that. Yes, I had planned to read 50 books this year, but that is just not going to happen. And some of them were short stories too, so it's alright, it happens. It was an ambitious goal for me anyway, because I'm a very slow reader. And I think most importantly is, not how many books you read, but whether you read any good books, and I would say I certainly did. Actually, that's something I want to try to film next week, is a year in review of books that I read this year. And maybe get my brother back on the channel as well to share what he read this year, because he read some really fascinating books. If you haven't listened to the podcast that I did with him, I think it was earlier this year, on Truman Capote's In Cold Blood, I highly recommend it. That was a fun thing to make. Alright, I think that's as good as we can do here. Very simple and plain, but I think that'll suffice. I'm going to probably today or tomorrow, I'm going to try to film that Divine Comedy video and get that posted. And if not, or if I don't do another video before Christmas, I hope you all have a really great holiday and happy reading the rest of the year. So, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.